do have one public hearing, so we'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Yamika, lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patrick Halpin.
Present.
Julianne Nolan.
Present.
Gerald O'Neill.
Present.
Edward Wynn.
Present.
Juan Leon.
Present.
Dan Chushin.
Present.
Yumiko Healy. Present. Greg Gaxiola. Present. Matt Esposito. And Rich Casey.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Yes, you do.
All right. Before we start the hearing, I am required, of course, to read this statement. The planning board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the planning board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void.
A public hearing, departmental review, lift of covenants and restrictions, job number PLAN 26-18, 10 Michael Drive Associates. Proposes an updated site plan to reflect 2015 seating change, along with closing the existing curb cut on the Bi-County Boulevard, new curbing, ADA signage, seal coating, restriping, and lifting of covenants and restrictions of overflow lots. And who's here?
All right, who's here on behalf of the applicant? Please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Good evening. Anthony Guardino, partner with the law firm of Farrell Fritz, representing the applicant, 10 Michael Drive Associates and Blumenfeld Development Group, which is an affiliate of 10 Michael Drive. So the application deals with, I'll try to make this really quick, the Regal UA Theater and the Starbucks restaurant that's located at 10 Michael Drive in Farmingdale. BDG owns that site, which is improved with the theater and the Starbucks, and also the adjacent site, or it's not adjacent, it's actually across the street, across Bi-County. I see the cursors outlining it, and that is an overflow parking lot that was used in connection with the theater. As was mentioned, in 2015, there was an amendment to the seating configuration, basically a change from conventional theater seating to stadium seating.
So what did the seating go down from when these covenants were initially in
So
force?
it went from, well, right now it's 1,069, and it went from 1,996. So it's about 50% reduction.
Okay.
It's very significant.
Yes, sir.
As a result of that seating reconfiguration and the reduction in the number of seats, the need for the overflow parking is no longer there. So in fact, since 2015, when the seating reconfiguration took place, as you can see there's a chain and a bar across the curb cuts. The site is not being used and cannot be used because of the chain and the bar. So back in 1996, when this was approved, as I mentioned, it was almost 2,000 seats. We did not have enough parking. The town required the overflow parking in that lot. There was already a restriction in 1982 that was placed on this property, or the two properties, because the theater site originally had been proposed in 1982 as a hotel and conference center. And at that time, there was a covenant that required that the overflow lot be overflow for the hotel and conference center. And so that didn't happen. But the boards in the 90s, late 90s or mid to late 90s, when the theater application was being made, kind of did the same thing, saying, look, you don't have enough parking on the main property, you need this other site. At this point, my client wants to basically bring the site plan up to date to reflect the reduced seating and therefore the reduced parking, and to decouple the overflow lot from the theater, because it really has no connection any longer. And the reason for that is that there is some interest in that site. There is a pending or a proposed application for a hotel on the overflow site. And the operator of that hotel, or the developer of the hotel, their attorney has raised issues with these covenants. There are actually 4 covenants that are in the chain that really relate to the theater, but because the theater included the overflow lot, the covenants also apply to the overflow lot. And that was problematic, or is problematic, to the hotel developer, and they've asked us now to basically decouple and remove those covenants to the extent they need to be removed. I will say that my client is only looking to take them off of the overflow lot. The covenants still relate to the theater, and there's no request to modify those at all. So as it relates to the theater, that stays.
Anthony,
Yes.
the purpose of our hearing is just on those covenants that you just
Correct,
described.
that's it.
Nothing else.
Nothing, well, there's an amended site plan.
Yes.
But the reality is it's a closed curb cut and a restriping.
This hearing is about the covenants.
Is about the covenants,
Okay, so
right,
please proceed,
exactly.
yeah.
So I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want me to go through the covenants, I can explain them a little bit, and why they're problematic to the hotel developer, but that's up to the board.
Well, you're here, and your client has your professional services, so why don't you explain
Okay,
the
sure.
other covenants?
So there were four.
Yeah.
So the first one was 1981, and it was, and that was amended by a covenant in 1983, and basically it imposed restrictions on the architecture of any buildings that were built. Again, it was intended for the theater, but it also applies to the overflow parking lot, so it would apply to a future development on that lot and would be subject to these restrictions. So there were architectural restrictions, there were parking restrictions, there were limitations on the amount of retail space in the building. And the hotel operators, look, they're going to have retail space in there, and they'd be constrained by what applies to the theater. So those covenants were imposed by this board, so they need to be amended or annulled by this board. So that's the first one. Then in 1982, there was another set of covenants. They were imposed by the town board, so I'll just mention them to you. And they required the overflow lot to provide the additional parking for the hotel and conference center that I mentioned earlier. So we will have to go back to the town board for that. The third one, covenant and restrictions was imposed in 1998 following the 1996 approvals, and they were required by both the planning board and the zoning board. And again, those covenants apply to all lots and require...
Hold on
Yes,
for 1 second,
sure.
Matt.
I'm sorry.
Are you keeping up with him, with Anthony? I know he's going pretty fast.
And I would just say it's in my letter of intent.
Yeah.
So it's all there, and I can give you my outline. So
No,
that,
I know
just so
that, but
you follow
as you
along.
can see, he's just pulled up the actual
Yes,
documents
great,
from the
great.
covenant you're
Thank you.
referencing. Yeah.
So that covenant in 1998 that was imposed by the zoning board and the planning board, again, applied to all lots, and meaning the overflow lot as well. And it required a security gate at the entrance to 500 by County Plaza, some shielded lighting, that the last movie shall not start later than 12:30, and that parking lot lighting be turned off after the last show, and daily removal of litter. Those would still apply to the theater piece. And when the hotel developer comes in, presumably the board will ask for new covenants with respect to that. So kind of get back to the same place, except there won't be discussions about movie times. So, and then the last set of covenants and restrictions, again, requires approval of the town board, and that related to the sale of alcoholic beverages in the restaurant that was approved by the town board in 1998. That was the Starbucks. So there's a prohibition on the sale of alcoholic beverages, but of course it wasn't limited to the Starbucks site. It also went to the overflow site. So the hotel, of course, is concerned that if there's a bar in the hotel, they can't serve alcohol. So that's those are the issues that we're dealing with. So that's the four covenants. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want to hear about the site plan, I have Chris Robinson here to my left.
Okay. Does
let
anybody
me
have
know.
questions for Anthony, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So my question to you is this: putting the overflow parking lot aside, does the movie theater and the surrounding lot comply with parking requirements?
It does. And I'm sorry I didn't touch on that. I was trying to shorten my presentation.
That's okay.
283 spaces are required for the number of seats that are there today. And that lot provides 283. So it provides exactly what is needed, and that's why the overflow lot is no longer required. Thank you. Sorry about that. I should have
Okay,
made that.
are there any other questions? No? Okay, you want to show us, you said the site plan?
Do you want to, Chris, you want to come up and talk about the site
Come on,
plan a little bit
Chris,
and just
come on
show, explain the minor changes?
Okay,
Absolutely. Chris
Chris, please
Robinson.
state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Chris Robinson, president of R&M Engineering, 50 Elm Street, Huntington, New York.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
Two really minor things we're doing with the site plan. On the left side of this screen along Bi-County Boulevard, there is currently an exit-only driveway which crosses Bi-County to an entrance only on the overflow lot. We're proposing to remove that curb cut and add 2 parking spaces there. And then to the northeast corner of the theater, they had a lot more handicap spaces than we need. We're just going to repaint just that little square up top and restripe those parking spaces so that we have the 283 provided. We have more than enough handicap spaces between the ones by Starbucks and on that side that more than accommodate the number of parking spaces needed. And that's really the only changes we're doing to the site.
Fair enough. Are there any questions? Any of the board members have any questions? No? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Before we go any further, Council, could you, I forgot to do this. As you know, the planning director, Denise Graziano, did issue an updated memorandum regarding this application, and you've reviewed it. Are there any issues that you'd like to bring to our attention?
I have to apologize. I have not seen that. Chris, did you see that?
Well, basically,
What's the date of that? I'm sorry, Mr. Howe.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Did you see anything? Okay, no, I'm concurring with Mr. Robinson, and he said that he saw nothing in it, so I will make the representation that we don't have any issue with this.
all right, right. Yeah, and really what they are outlining are the things that you just talked about, as well as the additional revisions will be approved by the planning department and highway, et cetera. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the board regarding this application? I don't hear or see anyone. So I'm going to request a motion to close the hearing and reserve decision. Okay, motion by Yumika, second by Dan. Second. All in favor? Aye. Approved. Okay, so the public hearing has been closed. The decision, though, has been reserved in order for us to review any open site plan issues. It will remain open for written comments. For anyone to follow up on the status of the application or submit written comments, additional written comments, you can contact the planning department a number of different ways. In person, planning is located on the west wing of Town Hall. Application documents and plans are available for inspection between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or by phone, 631-957-3103, or by email, planningcomments@townofbabylonny.gov. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome. All right. All right. Well, that concludes our one public hearing and our live stream. We will